guys, it's Allie. I just wanted to show you how I quickly made this card interactive. So I've got all my pieces. I've got my card base, I've got my frame, I've got my image colored with my Zig Clean color markers, and I've got my little bird colored as well. So the next step to making this interactive was I needed a circle that would hide behind my tree. And this circle is perfect for that. And then I needed a circle that would hide inside the other circle. So then I took my two dies and I took some heavyweight cardstock and I cut them out. So now I have two pieces of heavyweight cardstock to make my interactive tool. So let's begin doing that. So I'm going to work actually on the back of my tree. So what I need done is this needs to stick down and this needs to rotate. So now that I've got my two pieces, I do need my center actually bumped up. So I've cut a piece of self-adhesive foam in the same die as my center piece, and I'm going to use it to bump up my center piece here. I'm just going to peel off the backing. We're going to lay that right on top, and then we're going to put some really sticky adhesive on the back of that, because of course it's only one-sided as far as adhesive is concerned. So we're just going to add some nice score pile tape to make it extra sticky on the opposing side. There we go. Now you want to make sure that there's no adhesive hanging off the edge, so just make sure you trim off any edges, and that's all ready to go. So this is our moving aspect. It's the donut. And your donut has to be able to spin, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this to an acetate arm. So I'm going to cut a piece of acetate on and attach it to both the bird and the moving wheel, and as the wheel rotates, so will the bird. So let's cut ourselves a piece of acetate. Don't need very much, just a thin strip. We're going to use that, and of course we can trim that down. Let's set this kind of in place so that it's tucked fully underneath and it's not going to show behind the tree. I'm going to peel off the backing of our tape, and then we're going to apply that foamed circle to the center of our donut, and that's going to allow our donut to spin freely without being attached. So the next thing I want to do is we're going to attach our acetate piece, and of course we don't need a huge amount of acetate. Maybe just to make it extra sturdy, I think we'll actually fold it in half. And to make it a little less visible, I'm actually going to trim it down just a tiny bit towards the end, just so it's not as visible on the outside of the tree, but we'll leave it relatively fat towards the end there. And we're going to attach this little sleeve. Now our bird has to go the other way, so we have to make sure that the bird's not going to interfere with any of the higher leaves. So like that looks pretty good. I'm just going to eyeball that and trim it down like such, and then I'm going to use our sewing or score pile tape again because it's nice and strong, and we're going to put piece down. And what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to sandwich it like such. So we'll put one piece of the acetate end on each side. Of course, you don't have to do this if you've only got a single-sided piece of acetate. Just all you need is just adhesive on the other side. Now, you have to be very careful. You can't have adhesive hanging out from underneath the acetate. So this stuff is pretty forgiving. I'm just gonna tuck my straight ends underneath, because if it's there and somebody presses on the card, then you're going to adhere your donut down, and then your mechanism is not going to function. So there we go. We have our adhesive tucked underneath. Our donut is going to rotate like such. Now, on our card, what I want to happen is I'm going to place it about there, and then my birdie's going to be attached. The other thing I wanted to do as well was only limit the birdie to maybe just doing from maybe 10 to or 11 to 1 o'clock on the rotation. So let's see, how am I going to do that? I've got my tree here. We've got our little birdie trail. So in order to stop it, I'm going to have to put some kind of mechanism that only allows this to rotate to say right about there. Okay, so we can limit it very easily. We're just going to use little pieces of foam tape to basically stop this mechanism from moving any further. So by planting a piece of foam adhesive there, and planting a piece of foam adhesive, let's say right there, that's only going to allow that birdie that short range in movement and motion. Okay, so I'm also going to bump up the rest of my tree. So as long as my foam tape is out of the way of my mechanism and my circle, we'll bump this up, and then we'll flip it over and put some more adhesive here, and we'll have a little tree with a birdie. So I'll come right back after I've done all that. Okay, so I've put adhesive in the center circle. I've taken the backer pieces off all of my foam tape. My ring is in position. Just going to use my finger to kind of hold that. Let's put our tree down in position. I'm going to call that good. Press everything firmly into place. And then I'm just going to use, actually I'm going to use a glue dot to adhere our little birdie in place here. I've got these mini glue dots that I need to use up here on the sheets, and so let's attach this little fella with a glue dot to our acetate, and now we have a little flying birdie in the sky. Let's finish off the card, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you'll give this a try. Have a great day hopping along and seeing what everybody else creates.